good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching from. Adekunle Ilisanya here. It's, I trust it's going to be an interesting night. Call, and I want this to be very engaging and interactive. So we've got some people in the studio. Mr. Femi, thank you. Mr. Timothy, Mr. Phil, thanks for coming in tonight. So today we're looking at a very practical topic. We're talking about product strategy. So at Sourcein Business, one of our faculties is business analysis, and business analysis is a very wide discipline, very wide, so much so that it covers almost every aspect of non-code tech. So by non-code tech, I mean every aspect of tech that doesn't have to do with code. So it cuts across business analysis, business intelligence, product management, project management. So one of the things we've decided to do is to zoom in on specific areas of business analysis or specific parts of tech that are non-code, but then where you apply skills you've learned in the business analysis mentorship program. So today we're talking about product strategy, and this is the first bullet. It's very wide. It's not possible to exhaust the curriculum in one night, in 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we'll try to look at the foundations of crafting the product strategy. So if you want to know more than the foundations, you can DM me for you know DM me for a lengthy session. So today we're looking at crafting the product strategy, and we'll be starting by looking at the product. What is a product? Uh, I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen? Can
Not
anyone
yet.
see my screen?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
can.
can.
Okay, so what's the product? Now, what I have here is a product is a tangible object, service, or system that can be made available on the market to meet customer needs. The product is a tangible object, service, or system that can be made available on the market to meet customer needs. More generically, a product is anything that can be offered on the market to meet customer needs. Now, let me quickly explain the transition from project to product. Anyone in the tech domain who has been in tech for some time will know that the product buzz is new, and for the past couple of years, 5 to 10 years, there's now a lot of noise around product management, product strategy. There's now people who hold roles, who are referred to as product managers, head of product. Before now, what we get to hear is project management. But there's been a steady, there's been a transition from project to product for the past couple of years, especially with the proliferation of tech, of applications, mobile applications, web applications. Now, generally, products refers to the what, while projects refers to the how. So what I mean is the product is the what, the service you're offering, the object, the tangible object that you say here, the system, while projects refers to the how. So typically, um, the project management is how you deliver the product, whereas product is the what you deliver. So there's been a steady transition from project to product over the past couple of years because, like I said, because of the proliferation of tech. So you hear more people hold product manager roles than in the past, than 20 years ago, than 10 years ago. Up until now, so a lot of rules that you see on job boards, and those rules are the title project manager roles. But in reality, they're actually product roles. So there's been a transition from project to product, and I feel that if whoever would be relevant in the tech space today must understand why we have this transition and what is responsible for it. So moving on, the product is tangible object, service, or system. Now, there's some key terms here. The first term is service. A product might be a service. So, traditionally, maybe when we were much younger, when we were much younger, when you hear the word product, what comes to your mind is something you can hold, maybe piece of piece of piece of pen or laptop computer. Those were the traditional products. But nowadays, we've got we've got software applications like products. We've got marketing, marketing products. So Sourcein business sells a product. Sourcein business has a mentorship program, and we call that a product. It's a product. Sourcein business mentorship program is a product. So we have a product that is a service. So second term is market, and the third term is customer, and the fourth is needs. We'll treat all of this one after the other as we go ahead. Please, if you have any questions, those in the studio, you can feel free to interrupt and we can address it. So these are the key terms. Now moving on, strategy. So we're talking about product strategy. Now this is to understand what it means, what the word strategy really means. Now I'm not talking about how it's defined in the dictionary. What strategy? So I say here that strategy is a deliberately selected set of choices aimed at achieving a set of objectives. Deliberately selected set of choices. Now, during down, strategy is a plan of action geared towards achieving a specific goal. It's a plan of action geared towards achieving a specific goal. So it's a deliberately selected set of choices. So if you're taking strategy, so we're saying there's a business foundation, there's a plan of action. You have a goal, and you decide to do certain things in order to attain that goal. So strategy is deliberate. Now, I say strategy is deliberate and intentional. And I go on to say strategy is deciding what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and why to do it. Strategy is deciding what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and why we do it. That's strategy. There's a very common saying when I was much younger. When we're playing football, Nigeria, there's some people they call anywhere the left face. Anywhere they face, that's where they is to their left. But if their tummy is facing the right, they just face the right. So now a company that runs without strategy is a company that does anywhere the left face. Now a business should have a set of choices, decide what they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it, and why they want to do it. So for me, the word that is most synonymous with strategy for me is choice. Choice. That's the word that's most synonymous with strategy. So if you try to wrap your mind around what it means, what strategy means, just say choice. It means choice. What are you choosing to do as a business in your career? What are you choosing to do? Is there a plan of action? So when we say we have a strategy for your career, you work in a place and you've been there for say 5 years. Is there a strategy? Are you saying I want to work as manager for 3 years, then pursue a master's degree, then become director by the time I turn 40, then become chief executive by the time I turn 50? Is there a plan of action? Is there a set of choices? What are the things that you've chosen to do? So choice is perhaps the word that is most strategy for me. So like I've said here, choices. Now, what have we chosen to do as a business? What have we chosen to do? How have we chosen to do it? When have we chosen to do it? Now, all these are these are elements of strategy. What are you choosing to do? Now, I'm breaking down strategy and product so that you understand these two words independently, individually. It talks about product, how it's a service, it's a marketable service, and strategy, how is a deliberate plan of action, selecting a set of choices. Now we're saying the biggest word here is choices. Moving on. So that the driven by strategy and one that isn't is one does what it chooses to do to achieve a specific set of results, while the other does whatever has to be done to stay afloat. Now, there are two companies, Company A and Company B. Company A is driven by strategy, but Company B is not. The difference is Company A does what it chooses to do to achieve a specific set of results, while Company B does whatever has to be done to stay afloat. And sadly, I'll be using this example, and it's sad. I have to do this. Nigeria as a country happens to be a country that does whatever it has to do to stay afloat. It's not driven by strategy. I think that's perhaps the easiest example to relate with. You know, as people who live in Nigeria and people who live in Africa who know about Nigeria. So a company, an organization, a career, or whatever entity that is driven by strategy is one that does what it chooses to do to achieve a specific set of results. So if you're saying you work in a place, you earn $5,000 a month, and you've chosen to save $2,000 every month, 5 years for a reason, because you intend to buy a house. And the plan is once you buy that house, you want to put it off for rent to generate some extra income. That's some sort of strategy. You have this, there are things that you've chosen to, there are choices you have made, and you want to achieve a specific set of results. And this is just the foundation of strategy. So moving on. So let's move on to product strategy. Now, I'm trying to not move too fast so that you can soak all of this in. Yeah, but if you have questions, you can feel free to interrupt me and ask a question. Now, a set of choices that achieving an organization's objectives as touching a particular marketable entity. This is how I define product strategy. It's a set of choices aimed at achieving an organization's business objectives as touching a particular marketable entity. So there's a business, there's a company, like you have an organization, and there has to be a set of choices, like we've said before, the things that you have chosen to do. And the aim here is to achieve your company's objectives. Okay, so you've said this is 2022. In the next 5 years, we want to hit the $1 billion revenue mark as a company, or we want to have 1,000 clients, 1,000 users. That's a goal. That's a business objective. Now, what are the set of choices that you have made as a businessman, as a CEO, as an operations lead, as a strategy lead, as a business analyst? What are the choices that you've made to achieve that goal? So it's a set aimed at achieving an organization's business objectives as touching a particular marketable entity, which is the product. So moving on, product strategy, and I want to run through. I think there are about 6 of them. I want 5 of them. I want to run through this one by one. These are components of a product strategy. Number one, the target audience or customer. Who is the product for? who is the product for. It's critical to have a clear definition of who the potential buyer is. So one of the things that we do when we are crafting strategy for businesses, we do market research, but we also try to create a prototype of the ideal user. So if you have a product, for instance, if you want to start a laundry business in your locality, the first thing is, who is your target audience? Are they working class males between ages of 25 and 55? Are they working class females between ages of 25 and 55? Are they working class people, sex regardless? Are they no? So there has to be a clear definition. Who is your potential buyer? So you start a laundry business in an area where no working class people, knowing fully well that people that go to offices are the ones that most likely need laundry services. People that have their own businesses may or may not. Now, it's important for you to have a clear definition of who will buy this product. Now, also, when you're crafting a proper strategy, it's critical for you to know that you do not have a business idea, then try to validate your business idea. It's important for your idea to be driven by the audience. It has to be driven by customers. So you have seen that you have seen a need, you have uncovered a need, then you begin to do your research. A lot of times we have an idea in our heads, and we're trying so hard for months and for years to make sure that it fits into the real world. That's usually not how it works. So you have to have a clearly defined audience, have a prototype. My audience for this product are working class people between X and X age. My audience for this service are teenagers between ages 13 and 19. My audience is, very clear. If if you even have enough people to patronize you, so that's one. Target audience. Who is the product for? Number two, customer needs. Now, let me say this: most always fail when they are built to solve hypothetical problems. And this is a major problem, and I can tell you, the world over. There have been products that have been built for years because it's been built to solve hypothetical problems, and this is typical of research. That's an hypothetical problem, an imagined problem. It's only that it makes sense more in the academic environment where people studying for a master's degree, studying for a PhD, you come up with a problem in your mind and you solve it. It makes sense. You're preparing for the future. So you solve the problem that doesn't exist yet. And of course, it's possible in the future that something related to that problem, the problem will exist, then you can solve the problem. So it makes sense if in research, in academia, but in business, in the real world, it doesn't make sense. You don't have to create products to solve imagined problems. I see that happen a lot of times. So someone creates something, and I'm careful to not give examples, not mention names, to not drag people's sweat in the mud. But there have been products. There was a particular product that was created by giants like Top Four back in the day. They spent about $100 million to build that product. That's probably 22 years ago. And what has happened over the past 2 decades is they have spent more money trying to create problems for the product to solve than they have spent in building the product itself. They have spent more money trying to create problems, to find problems that the product could solve. So a lot of times when we have an idea in our heads, it does not solve a real problem. It's solves an imagined problem. It's imagined. Now, how do you know it's imagined? It's simple. Survey. Is this even so? Ask yourself a question: is this even a real problem? Number two, if it's a problem, is it worth solving? Number one, is it a problem? But is it worth solving? So, for instance, there's a solution that works today. You have a solution that works, and let's say the solution that works is 70% effective. Yeah, so that's fine. You have an idea, and your idea would for your idea to develop a solution that would be 71% effective. So you have something that does 70%. You spend $1 million or $10 on something that will be effective 71%. So think about it. So let's assume it's a problem, yeah. But is it worth solving? Think about it. Is it worth the energy? Is it worth the stress? Is it worth the time? Would anyone want to buy that product for the extra that you're doing? 70% effective, and what you're doing now is like be like 95 to 50. Yes, that's on some mileage. A lot of times the questions, the problems are not even real; they're imagined. Number two is personally, I've been in this situation for quite a number of times. I've been a serial entrepreneur. I started businesses, done businesses, and it came to a point where I realized that I cannot be emotionally attached to my ideas. So these days, when I consult, I speak with people who have ideas, and I tell them that don't be emotionally attached to your ideas. It sounds rash, it sounds cold, like this guy is cold. But the truth is, I learned from my experiences. A lot of times, we're only tired about it. So it's more